I need a vacation. Good news. I'm getting one this week. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ. Come on into my sewing room. So, what's been going on? Both a lot and a lot of nothing. We are in the process of going live with a big project at work, so we have been doing a lot of hurry up and wait. We are hurrying to get things done and waiting because we don't have a lot of stuff pending with this stuff. I managed to train my coworkers this week on the monster template that I am using to validate the data. I call it a monster template because it's got about 200,000 lines. No, yeah, 200,000 lines of data, and it goes out now to column GA. And if I did math correctly, that's like 180 something columns. So yeah, they are really, really big. I did find it amusing that it took about 4 hours to train them on how to do the template. And there's not a lot to do in the template. It's just there's a lot of calculations and stuff. Uh, I did find it kind of amusing that what was it? Friday, Thursday, Friday, one of those days. I built 4 of those templates in about 4 hours time. And I know a lot of it is because I have a lot more familiarity. I know the templates more than they do. And I also have this thing that I am very impatient and I don't let Excel sit and do 5 minutes of calculations every time that I sit and change something. So that's how I managed to get things done. Hopefully, they won't have to run the template while I'm on vacation because I just ran everything. And Monday about noon, I'm going to have to build the last of the files because we're going to do our partial month of May loaded. So as long as there's no mapping updates, they shouldn't have to rerun those files. So hopefully with that, they may have to learn some other stuff, which I got to teach them on Monday, but that's a different story. On the home front, it's been fairly quiet. I did manage to get the binding done on 2 quilts. The only reason why I got 2 quilts done is because I used machine binding. I am so thankful that I learned that class late last year, so it has helped immensely. Just because I know I could not get 2 quilts hand bound in a couple weeks. It does take me almost a full week usually to do the binding of a quilt. I will have those finished quilts shown later in the show and tell section. I'm just waiting for them to get posted at time of filming. Let's see what else. I also managed to get some more triangles cut with the graduation quilts. That has been the bane in my side, and I'm using the word some because it wasn't that many. I got, I don't know, probably about 40 or 50 of them cut. Now that I'm thinking about how many I got cut, I'm realizing it was more than I thought, but there's still plenty to be cut. And then I started deciding that I'm tired of cutting and I have enough that I can start sewing. So I was kind of excited. And so I pressed the triangles, half square triangles open and got them to the point where I laid them out on my cutting board and I double checked, make sure it looked exactly like I wanted to. Brought everything over to the sewing machine, and I think this pattern has a vendetta against me and wants to kill me. As soon as I got 1 unit through the machine, I started looking and realized that something got turned somehow between my board over there and the sewing machine over here. Don't know what it was, but luckily it was just 1 unit instead of what was it, 300 or 224 units that I did last year that I had to seam rip. So I managed to get them done. Handful of them are sewn. This is what I have. It's probably about 15 units, maybe. Not certain exactly, but it's starting to sew, and sewing is a lot better than cutting. So like I said, once I get them starting in that fashion, I feel like it's going to be in the gain of everything. So hopefully, maybe if I get some time in the next couple of days in between packing, I may get some more triangles cut. Maybe I'll get what I already have cut started pressing. But I know I can't really do any more until I get more of the um, fabric line fabrics cut, because I'm almost done with the accent triangles. You didn't think that just because I'm going on vacation doesn't mean I'm not going to have any goals. So I'm flying out Wednesday. So the big thing I need to do is make sure I have all the prep done and packing. Riley's going to be at daycare for the time that I'm going to be out, so you guys don't have to worry about her. She loves daycare, and hopefully she'll come back a little tired. I have neighbors coming in to check in on the cats while I'm gone, so they will be well taken care of. And I'm just so excited that I'm going to be able to go up to Massachusetts and see my family. We have a bunch of awesome stuff planned. We've started planning out some of our menu. There are restaurants up there that I love that we don't have here, so we need to hit them up. Sister and I are trying to figure out what night we're doing friendlies. I love me some friendlies, and I want some ice cream. I've been getting plans set up with friends. I know that there's going to be a trip to Sturbridge for a barbecue place that I guess the Food Network said is the best barbecue in New England. So, yay! Hopefully, that's going to be good. The day after I arrive up there, so that's going to be this Thursday, my sister is bringing us all to Drag Queen Bingo. So, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. There's one day that my sister and I are going to have set aside for each other that we're going to do a craft shopping day. Basically, that's going to be the day that I'm going to hit up most, if not all, the quilt shops up in Western Mass that I like to go to. And then we're also going to go to the various shops that she needs to go to in order to get some of her crafting supplies, because she does a lot of, I think it's a silhouette that she has that she loves to do her stuff with. So we will see all kinds of stuff that we can get ourselves into. My cousin that lives up there and we have a day that we're going to spend just together for us. She asked me if we could just have a Russ and Gigi day, and I said, of course. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm working on trying to schedule the maximum amount of time that I can with the friends that I have up there. Some of it we're not going to fit into each other's schedule. That happens. Some of it we are mostly going to fit the schedule, so we'll see what happens. There's also going to be a couple surprise events that are getting planned that I will probably reveal after I get back. Hopefully, I will be able to get enough footage with every planned thing that I have, that I will have a pretty awesome what I did on my summer vacation video when I get back. So, all that said, my goal is to have fun. I don't plan on thinking about work. I won't have my sewing machine here, so I won't be able to sew anything, but that doesn't mean I can't buy anything. So I said earlier that I finished a couple quilts. This first quilt I bought 2 years ago while I was up in Massachusetts. The great thing about the shop that I bought this from is their kits include the backings. The bad thing about their kits with the backings is they are usually sized for their binding method, which is they quilt the quilt top, and I guess they stop their quilting right at the edge of the quilt, and they use they I watched them do it. They took a yardstick and they sliced the quilt backing from it the width of the yardstick, and they did a double fold over to kind of make a self binding. I don't know quite the word. Uh, so that's pretty awesome. The good thing about that is, if I had done the quilting their way, it would have been fine. But the way that the amount of backing that they gave, it made it basically impossible to pull binding strips out of it. Luckily, my local quilt shop had the same fabric line when I started putting this together. So I was able to go there and say, hey, I need some fabric. And I got some great binding for it. And I used what was initially going to be the backing and binding as the binding. The lesson learned that I got from here is when I go to that quilt shop next week, probably, there might be a chance Friday, um, that I need to ask them how much that they actually are giving for the backing with their kits so that I know if I'm able to use their binding or their backing or if I'm going to have to buy extra fabric. When I did one of their other kits for my cousin last year, 2 years ago, it was perfect amount of cuts for backing, and I was able to get binding out of that. But this quilt, I wasn't able to get binding strips out of it. Live and learn. This second quilt is a baby quilt. As I said last week, I think it was, a coworker had a baby late last year, and I didn't really have any warning before she was going off on maternity leave. I'm now planning on giving her this tomorrow in the office. She said that she's going to be in the office the next couple days, and I will be too. This was a lot of fun because the front has dragonflies on it in the fabric. The back is tulip pink owls. So I know she's going to love it, the mom, and I hope the baby does too. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It's the easiest way to tell the algorithm to spread my content around to other awesome folks like you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until next time, stay happy and keep stitching.